So in the headlines today, it's the escalating tension in Iran, nationwide protests, uprising against the regime. US stepped in to intervene. Are we facing possible military action? What I'm picking up suggests there's a shadow aspect that we're not being told about. Will the people be used as pawns, or will they be successful in their endeavours? Welcome back to Trish James Tarot. I'm Trish, your card reader, creator, and astrologist. Today I'll be using my governance oracle, but I have mixed in a little bit of the predictions world events oracle into the pile. If you're new to the community, it's not just love and light here. I look at world events through the spiritual lens to understand the collective consciousness or the collective energy behind what's happening in the world. So the Middle East tension came up in the 2026 predictions. I also talked a little bit about what's happening with the movement of the outer planets and how this is causing revolutionary tension, rebellion tension. I'll link that video at the end. Also, you'll find in the links is the decks that I'm using today. Now, I'm going to shuffle along as I'm reading a little bit of factual information about the situation. We're hoping for improvements. Also, you'll find linked is in the product section is the deck that I'm using today. And this is our topic for today. The cards are on it and ready to go. Uprising Rebellion. So as I read through some factual information about what is going on in Iran, I'm going to just shuffle the cards and see what they want to contribute to the conversation. So the situation in Iran has escalated into one of the deadliest crackdowns in the country's modern history. Multiple independent reports paint a devastating picture here. There's civilian casualties in the thousands. Governments have done internet blackouts, suppression of information, and we have external influence where the leaders of Iran have reached out to negotiate with the US because their society is collapsing. Will we see a battle of the leaders? Are we talking the US and Iran? Are we talking US and Russia? Or is this leadership battle within the nation of Iran? So the information that I've been looking at for factual information, it says that thousands have been killed in recent weeks alone. At least 1,200 civilians killed, according to senior government and security sources cited by Iran International. And human rights estimate over 600 deaths. So the numbers are very varied but it's in the thousands. It's a lot of people, casualties to this tension. Is shifting in the Middle East. And it's been going on since the start of January. It's been very heavy. It pretty much looks like what is going on. So the cards are definitely tapping into the energy. So we have military action. We have power of persuasion. I feel this is the US. Now, is it that Iran leaders are wanting to persuade the people and wanting to use military action to get their way? Or are we talking about negotiations with Trump? Society collapse, taken by force, and a bottomless money pit. This is what I'm seeing as the shadow work into this situation. And this is my fear of why I worry that the people will be used as pawns in this situation. Power of persuasion sits on top of bottomless money pit. Society collapse because of the selfish agenda. The people uprising from their leaders. This is very interesting. Let's delve a little deeper into this one here. Military action taken by force. So this is the main energy that I'm inquiring about right now. I want to distinguish who is being taken by force. I know there's been people taken. So please tell me in this energy reading, please elaborate on military taken by force. Are we talking about the leaders or are we talking about the people? I just saw shadow operation about an interim placeholder. That's very interesting. That's leadership. And again, it says leadership battle. It's leadership. But there's a bit of a blame game going on here. Having a negative impact. So my question here was about the US stepping into this situation. We have the card of global dominance, and it's very interesting that the US just stepped into Venezuela and now stepping into Iran. So it's a beneficial impact. My question is it beneficial for the people? Who is it beneficial for? There is a bit of covert corruption though that is taking place here. And there will be a mourning, a loss. Someone's going down. This card actually came up in one of the readings that I done. It was either the 2026 predictions or it's in the energy read for this week, a mourning, the loss of somebody. Will it benefit the people to have US involved? I am going to be asking, will it cause further tension with other countries? But for now, I just want to know about the people. It's the peace treaty. So peace treaty. White flag. Collectively, the energy of the people of Iran. Will things improve for them? Economic growth. Selfish agenda is and corrupt dealings that keep saying the same things over and over again. This is the leaders. a leader with an agenda. But for the people, we're seeing a peace treaty and economic growth, but there is definitely underlying corruption here. There's something that's been hidden from us. Can you show me what that is, please? What has been? Okay, there's economic challenges here. We keep seeing the bottomless money pit. We keep seeing things around money and economy. Now we are seeing again, for the second time, taken by force, trying to retain authority, needing to be taken by force, an isolated outcast. Let's take a look at the rulers of Iran. What's the energy around the rulers of Iran? Corrupt dealings once again. Not so communist, but as the structure of rulership. There may be some changes that need to be made here. Easily bought to manage the situation. A fall from grace with a succession plan in mind. Shifting alliances and military control. It doesn't look good for the leaders. Shifting alliances, walking away from that style of leadership. Situation easily negotiated or bought to manage the situation. Could be related to energy, could be related to, I don't think it's oil, but it's some kind of energy management. But are we talking about oil? Buying rights to oil reserves, or I wonder if that's what is the corrupt dealings that's going, or the covert dealings. To do another one to do with pushing pawns around a table to do with energy management, resources, and using military control. But here we see a succession plan, a fall from grace, and someone's hand being forced. This was all coming up. Some of this one here in particular was coming up just before what happened in Venezuela. It kept coming up in the cards. But I am actually seeing now something to do with mourning, a loss of a person. I didn't see that in Venezuela. Bottom of the deck, situation becomes explosive. Are the people going to be okay? There is mounting tension with the people. There is strained relations between who they can trust when it comes to leaders. They're worried about somebody coming and stepping in with a facade of goodwill. Or they need to be worried about somebody that comes in with the facade of a goodwill, somebody that steps in to say they've got the people's backs, but do they really? Now we see concede defeat here. White flag once again. When I talk about the people, the white flags keep coming out. Something around housing and infrastructure and misuse of funds. Maybe it's one of the bargaining tools to pull the people back into line. The deck, military action and beneficial impact. Loss and mourning. Does this cause tension with Russia? Say this bottomless money pit comes out again. Now I'm wondering if we're talking about oil pit. I'm wondering this card now, because we had oil in this deck, and I'm wondering if this card is wanting to represent as a oil pit. Because it's come out twice so far already. Comes to strained relations with, or will this cause strained relations with Russia? We see open negotiations with Russia and the US because of Russia stepping over their bounds, but trying to downgrade that situation with Russia. However, Russia's holding an unwavering stance to do with trying to maintain control. It says lacking control, but holding an unwavering stance. Open negotiations to downgrade the situation and return relations back to normal. Doesn't mean they're good, it just means de-escalation with America and Russia. These are lighter cards than what just came out with the Iran energy. But I'm really starting to think this is oil or resources, mining. And a difficult decision to be made because of how pawn pieces are being moved around when it comes to oil and resources. Okay, give us some kind of indication of what the covert corruption is that's taking place. What is the covert corruption? This is the people. It's the white flag again. So I think this is representing the people. Here we see a tyrannical leadership and failed negotiations. Now it's interesting that the US said Iran leaders contacted him for negotiations, to open negotiations, but here we're seeing failed negotiations. Trying to find a solution to the problem. And there's corruption revealed. Misuse of funds. So misuse of funds with tyrannical leadership. Energy weapons. Next question, will it come to the use of energy weapons? Covert strikes is what I'm hearing. Communist. There's a few cards here. Strategic moves. Covertly done. kept classified. Their targets kept classified. Pushing for a succession plan. Again, connected to energy. In the back here, we've got mining of all types, energy management. And there is oil pumping in the background here. Okay, final spread. So for the final spread, we see the battle warship. This is the aircraft carrier that was just deployed to the area. What are the secrets that are being sold here? What's this big bag of money? Why does money keep coming up, or misuse of funds? National defense. This is the military involvement. Are we talking about Iran's military here? We see the aircraft carrier and the pursuit of control. The national defense or the military of Iran trying to retain authority. But we did see failed negotiations and disappointing results. We see unresolvable differences, refusing the demands of the people in the background, will not change their stance on bowing to the people. Trying to dodge a power shift. Dodging, again, feels like the people in the background, trying to dodge relinquishing power to the people. Does seem to appear to be some military action that's required here. Defensive tactics, covert, hidden, strategically positioned tactics. So while it doesn't look good for the energy of Iran with US getting involved, it doesn't seem to be affecting Russia too much. There needs to be open negotiations there as well. But there feels to be that the current administration or leadership is not their unwavering stance towards a shift back to the people's demands. They're dodging that shift to the point their military is involved. Trying to retain authority, disappointing results. And we see the people with the white flags. Very interesting. Bottom of the deck, society collapsing as we know it. Joining me.